when we went to them, we had better participation.
Yes, we.
Well, you could set it up for that day to break it down, how we did it. At 8:30, we meet with these four, and
Well, that'd be a possibility.
somehow,
Yeah, that'd be a possibility.
you know,
That'd be hard to give them all
And
one day.
I mean, I thought it was an extension of an olive branch from the county commission, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Think about when you go to meet with the DOT, what do you have to do that? You have to go to Bismarck for that. They at least put it in conjunction with something else you're
Yeah.
going to
Right.
go to Bismarck for, but you have to go to them. That being said, I thought it was really gracious, and I thought it was really positive what you did. Now the question is, do you want to do that again, or what do you want to do as an alternative? Because I think it needs to continue.
Yeah. How many townships did we have in a group? Jim?
4.
So it was like
We had
4
9
or 6.
meetings, 4 in a group.
You know, so that idea of probably doing clusters on that day with 4 or 5 townships, yeah, that might be an idea to think about.
would that get them there if you
I don't
said,
know.
this group meets with us at 9:30,
Yeah.
and this group meets with us at 10:30, or, I'm just throwing it out
I
there.
don't think we'd get the participation that we had at the meetings
When
last
we
year,
went
just
to
because
that.
it was a hot topic, you know.
Well,
There's
that's the other
something new
thing.
too.
It was the topic that got them there, maybe.
Well,
So,
but I'm thinking that kind of still carries over because now it's kind of a follow-up on that.
And we're having these other meetings that they don't understand.
Okay, so here's a good thing, and you can find it in here, you just got to dig long enough for it. Okay, what did every one of them say was gonna happen? As soon as you charged them $100 a mile, what was gonna happen? Next year it will be,
oh, but yeah,
it'll be 200, then it'll be 300. It's the exact same charge next year as it was this year, okay? So they didn't know everything there either. All right, now why is it the same? For the very reason I told you earlier, we're all in this together, and we have to stabilize this thing before you can, you know.
Right.
You wanna get out of the hole next week? Well, then, yeah, you're gonna have to charge them $500 a mile. Okay, that's the only way you're getting out by next week. But that's not what we should be striving for. We need to stabilize it first, and then we need to work our way out of that hole. And we're making progress. Okay, and that's one place. I am concerned for what's going to come to me from some of the small cities, okay, in October. I'm not much concerned anymore about the fire departments and the ambulances because I've had good communication with them. Harvey and Fesman, they've called, they've asked, they pretty much know where they're at. School districts have reached out. I had to really help 2 of them, believe it or not, 2 bigger ones, but they do have new administration and so on. Because they don't exactly understand how the law affects and how it applies and what they can do. So if you think that's the case with people who have full-time business managers and things like that, think about the townships, think about the small cities, think, okay, I don't know, they're not experts at this, but they're thrust into this because nobody else will do it. They took the role, also related to conversation we had here earlier, okay? So I think this is an opportunity to educate, it's an opportunity to hear, it's an opportunity to interact. It might be a chance for you to know somebody that you don't otherwise know, or even in my case, to know somebody that I don't already know.
The nice part of it would be this, okay, last year we went and met with them and they had concerns. Now you go meet with them this year, you're gonna get feedback whether it worked or not in their mind.
That's what I'm talking about, the feedback.
Yeah, because that, and when they realize that they get the feedback, I think that'll be huge, but I mean, it's actually more to our advantage to find out what they really think.
right.
Because you get phone calls and boy, oh boy, sometimes you gotta hold it out here and the next time it's a good one, I mean, that happens.
I think we should try to creatively think about what we can do for that February meeting. You know, and if that doesn't work, we can always go to Plan B and do what we did before and then do the summer thing around.
That was kind of in July anyway, right?
June, July.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, that, you know,
maybe we need $1,000 door prize.
oh, it's one way to overdo it. it's opened up a line of communication. Contrary, we've been accused of being trying to be smarter than else. We aren't.
No. Yeah,
And
yeah.
this is
Put
one
that
way
in the
to
record.
do some
You
communication.
like the brand meeting. Cash.
Alright.
Mhm. You know, that idea about, like, fire departments and those other subdivisions too, that's not a bad idea either.
Well, I think when it gets to some of those things, I think we could all stand to be educated as well.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of stuff that I have opportunities to learn and, you know, I look down at what Bowden did, in building that new place and so on. How much more about that? And now that it's there, the community's perception of that is, wow, okay, that's a big deal. Now, it's trying to get it, that's what fire departments should be trying to get it. They've got the lot, you've seen it, it's squared off, but now, are they gonna be able to raise the kind of money that they need to have something like that?
Been working on that already for 2 or 3 years, I get them to a place and,
I talked to my brother about fire stuff. He goes every year to legislature, they go and they, you know, they have their stuff. He said, rural fire departments have got a real problem because, you know, it's just, it's not funded as well as it should be. So, people have taken it upon themselves to do that. Good thing.
Okay, any more on that? Some good talk, but let's keep thinking about that, maybe talk about it again in October, see what we're trying to do.
Okay.
Okay? All right, Wells County property fraud alert, I hear you're an expert on that.
No.
All right.
He's gonna,
You've got the actual card. You find these, they're probably widely available in the banks, credit union, and probably at like Dr. Nias's office. You're gonna find these things in some prominent places where a lot of people go. If you're somebody who watches any late night TV, you know that there's lots of infomercials that are out there, and it's everything from protecting your own identity, which identity theft is a big deal. But property threat or theft in the last several years has also become a big deal. They don't actually physically come out and steal your property. All they do is impersonate you and get a loan at the bank, that creates a mortgage on your place, or they maybe record a document or something that takes away a piece of property. And it will take you less than a minute to sign up. In fact, we should just have a moment of silence and you should all sign up right now. Doesn't take long. There's a QRF code on the back side of that, I believe. And what will happen here is that if a document is recorded, whether it's from a mortgage company or whatever, if you own a piece of property, there's a deed filed in the recorder's office, okay? And it's there forever. If you try and sell that property, obviously a new deed has to be recorded, etc. If there's a mortgage on that property, the mortgage company has to record that with your county recorder. All of those things are there. So if somebody came in and recorded a document that in some way, shape, or form affects me, I'm gonna get a notice. And I'm gonna get a notice right now. Okay? Gives me an opportunity to say, hey, what the heck's going on here? Okay, I did not sell my house, et cetera, et cetera. Normally, when are you gonna look into this? Okay, you can say it, never, unless you're trying to sell your property. You're not gonna know. This gives you an app. This is gonna be, I would say, statewide, except there's 3 counties that are not part of Nadiran, which is the North Dakota Recorders Information Network. They are the ones that are behind this, okay? And it's meant to be a service, and it's free to you. It's free to everybody in Wells County. And I guess if you own property in another county, I want to say it's Montreal, Williams, and maybe McKenzie. They're on their own. They're in the heart of the oil field. They have their own protection systems in place. But if you own property anyplace else in the state of North Dakota, I would encourage you to do this. Because you too can be, I mean, you see how often your email gets hacked or scammed or whatever. Dentist doctors always looking for gift cards. Okay, always looking for gift cards. And I buy them for them and he
He
asked
never
for them
gets 'em.
again, and he never gets them. So
Yeah,
I
he
would
really
strongly
doesn't get 'em.
encourage you to get signed up for this, won't take you but a second,
I just about got it done.
see? And he is technology challenged this one.
I know.
So, but, that is available through the recorder's office, but do that, and do that ASAP. There was a prominent article, I think it was on the front page of the paper this last week, the Herald Press. And I think they had it was already in Foster County. It was a reprint from Eddy County and Foster County, I think, that was here. So I would strongly, strongly encourage you to not only do that yourself, but to encourage others to do so as well. We do not want to be the victims of any kind of a scam or fraud or what have you. When I go to Arizona later, I'm highly hopeful that they're going to have something in place down there that will protect me down there.
Done.
Okay? I don't know if I can answer a whole lot of questions for you. I go read that article in the paper, look at the stuff that's on here. I think you should do this ASAP.
Wow, pretty simple.
Yeah.
So,
Very good. Took care of snow removal,
I think we're all done.
Sick county meeting.
now notice that is going to be in Foster County. That is a flip from Emmons County. They flipped it around.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to have to go to Emmons County in December, but it's going to be in Foster County. And I need to ask you if you have any topics for them. And we'll worry about who's going to go later here, but any topics you have for them. And maybe public hearings is one of them. I don't know.
That's next Tuesday, right?
Yes.
I got nothing.
I got nothing, I guess.
You know the meeting is only as good as the topics.
That's
I know.
true.
Deal.
It's good to have good stuff. When do you have to let them know? No.
Yes, Thursday. Yeah, today.
I suppose you can talk about the pros and cons of all these public hearings. That's a new thing.
That is.
You know, Dan, how much time did you spend? I don't know how much of this you guys looked at, but you got a different notice based on all the subdivisions your land is associated with. Well, we got land in Pierce County, and it's on the edge of the Harvey School District, Animal School District, Harvey Ambulance, Harvey Fire Department, but Amherst Fire Department. So I got multiple notices based on your land description. Thank God for computers, right? Because how would you ever
Well, you should go to all that.
manually do that?
Definitely, and it is all about.
And I'm not unique in that. I mean, everybody out there, that happens.
But yes, and then you're getting mailings from multiple counties.
Yep.
Just
Yeah.
because of where you're located at.
Right.
So you're getting duplicative information
Yep.
in many cases. So you think about anybody that lives
On the edges.
On edges. The amount of money that we spent on mailing went up significantly.
I know,
And that's
yeah.
just in the county. Okay, before you only had to send notices if they had $100 or more in property taxes. Now we sent out notices to even ones that are tax exempt, cemeteries, et cetera. All that information has to be known, even though that very same person is getting their own property notification in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of duplicative information.
That was my point, there's a lot of redundancy there. Anyway, that's all.
Everybody wants to.
And I think a lot of them are gonna be at the same time, too, with those meetings.
Yeah.
Has anybody heard about that big fiber optic that's going from San Francisco to Washington DC?
That's not our jurisdiction.
I know that, but here's what happened. I think it happened in Emmons. They were kind of told about it, and all of a sudden somebody showed up. Anyway, there's gonna be a big generator in Lair, North Dakota, to keep this thing going. And there's gonna be one somewhere west of Linton along by the river. And it is a big deal. It's a 30-inch fiber optic line.
Oh, wow.
And it's going from San Francisco all the way to Washington DC,
Through here?
through North Dakota,
Well, what the heck?
through Emmons County, I
That
believe.
sounds like the long way around.
Well, you guys, there's lots of new stuff happening. The data center in Harwood, North Dakota, that got some controversy.
Oh, yeah, yep.
That's coming, that's new stuff. I guess I got one more thing, we kind of got everything else here, but, the NDCO guys come, we gonna do anything special when they come here or what?
Well, it would be my hope to.
25th.
I'm gonna tell you that I will not be here that day,
What?
and that's just the way it worked out. I was supposed to have some medical appointments on the 17th.
Okay, that's excuse.
They called me and said, nope, can't do it the 17th. And I said, well, you gotta do it before September's over because my insurance changes and, yeah, we're doing it before the end of the year. And, so they put me in on the 25th and then the circumstance comes along. It just happens to be the 25th. It's from 2 to 4 p.m. And I'm gonna guess there'll be a good contingency of NDACO. So,
Well, we were here last, we were all, we were here last time.
Yep.
Couple years ago.
They were here
and,
this
it's,
year.
and that's a good group to get to know and understand. You will often see them at various 6 county meetings, but not
Park convention.
Yeah, different ones will come with
whatever. And you'll see them obviously at NDACO State Convention in late October, but this is where they come out and just cater to, well,
And we should probably meet here and then or what?
I'm sure there'll be something in this room at some point. I think last time they were here,
They do want to visit everything in the courthouse.
yes, they'll go through all the courthouse.
Well, and all the employees know they're coming, right? So they're, have their game face on that day and they're receptive. It's not a surprise, right?
No, it's a good thing, and it's a good opportunity for you to network with some people who are, for all intents and purposes, your lobbyists at the state level.
I think last time.
Brownies and coffee then?
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if we shouldn't have something.
Yeah, we'll have those things available.
Last time we took a big group picture with all the employees.
Oh, yeah, in front of the courthouse.
No, and also up in the courtroom.
Okay. Oh, yeah, I remember, okay, because Doug and Mark, yeah. All of us were there. A lot of us were there.
So,
So yeah, it's, that's coming Thursday, the 25th, and we will meet again,
September.
yep, should be a Thursday, the 18th, the week before is when we have our next department's meeting. So I'm sure we'll get
Yeah, I got a
all
medical appointment that day.
the logistics worked out
you'll
that
be
day.
on
for-
that day too?
I got my PET scan in Mayo again.
The 25th?
On the 18th.
So, but before we depart, you guys got all your dates and stuff squared away there. Again, this group meets, we start October 7th with our hearing for our budget. And so
Yeah. So,
that'll be a presentation at that point in time and then any Q&A and, okay? All right, before we go then, I want to share this. I did get these quotes for coverage for these blades, and they have to be coverage. And I mean, they don't have to be, but you don't want to be without, okay, on something that's that expensive. So these machines cost between $450,000 and $500,000. You guys know that. So for 2 years, just powertrain is $10,638 for the 2 years. Okay, powertrain plus hydraulics, and I would really recommend that you do both. That is $15,344. So $15,344. So for $30,700, give or take, you can cover 2 blades as opposed to spending somewhere in the vicinity of $1 million and spend 30.
We had a lot of problems with wiring harness.
Well, I can't say that if it's directly related to your powertrain and or your hydraulics, then it would be covered. But if it's your lights or your turn signal or that.
I need a motion?
We'll deal with this later, but I wanted you to be aware of it.
Separate meeting.
Oh, okay.
This is something that is crucial, okay? You can go back and you can replace them every 5 years, but you're gonna have to explain that to the township why you have to charge them $500. Come on. So, This is just a step. It's not gonna be the only thing, but it is a step of getting rid of some of the challenges.
And what we do have to think ahead and set up when some need to be replaced, so that they aren't all due at the same day and time.
No, that's correct.
That's right.
And he talks about 7 years. I would argue that as long as you think you're running 8 routes, that it's not 7 years, it's really 8. So that is what you should be striving towards, is 1 every 8.
How many more years can we go by into the warranty before we gotta buy a blade?
I'm
The
sure
older the blade gets, the higher the warranty gets.
I'm sure, yeah.
and you're only granted 1,000 hours a year. I mean, if you go 1,100, then you'd have 900 left. So it's 2 years, 2,000 hours is what you're dealing with.
That's
And we got a
generally
blade
not a
guy
problem.
that's in here right now. I'm sure there's years where you exceed 1,000 hours, and I'm sure there's years you do not.
Yeah, the last few years, we haven't seen 1,000 hours, but,
No.
you're talking about the warranty, I think electrical, especially on those John Deeres, there've been a lot of computer and wire harness problems. Man, that's what the most, I think, has been worked on.
Is it ongoing or is it at the beginning? When they're new?
I don't know, but Frank's has been a real pain.
That one, they've been working on that thing, they've replaced every wiring harness twice.
But I don't think, you can't get an extended warranty on that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not an option.
I know, but
on the wire, right?
The thing about kicking these down the road and always putting warranty on, when it does come time to replace, you have no resale value on what you
Oh,
have.
yeah, there's a downside of, you're not running these blades for free, because there's depreciation on them every year, whether you buy a new one or not, but the depreciation is smaller.
But
I always argue that on a 6-year-old machine versus a new one.
you guys were close to becoming best friends with both Cat and John Deere, because they loved you guys before. You were giving them slightly used equipment that had a big resale value for them, and taking their brand new machines out of their stores, out of their inventory lists. So there's a reason why they were happy as heck to come here. So
I think they had like one with a lot of comments, didn't they?
Well, it wasn't as extreme as the cost was, but it was.
Oh, I know, but I mean, that's been a hazard for them for a long time.
All I'm worried about
No,
is just going
I'm going to
getting my
San
head like
Fe.
we need a
Yeah.
bunch of things.
Or Savannah, Georgia. Well, he asked.
Would you ask now?
Yeah, so we were done.
No, he asked if I'd go to dinner. I said, no, I'm going to Savannah, Georgia.
to dinner.
No, we'll get there for dinner.
Dinner on the plane, right? Anything else?
Oh, adjourn, or motion to adjourn.
Second.
Meeting adjourned.
Okay, is it my turn to buy?
I think so. You can buy
Miller.
I think it goes right to the doctor. I think.
No, it's bucks at first. Can I give you mine?
Yeah.
So, well, Ryan's the one first.
Really?
Okay.
Really?
I'll trade with you.
I would bypass that one.
Yeah.
Appreciate you guys a lot.
Yeah, we're gonna be far and few between here real shortly because there's